Right, it's time for my blog this week. Oh, let me sit down. First, let me say a little apology. In the last couple of weeks I haven't really had much time on MySpace, so I haven't really been covering a lot of people's fights, and there have been friends of mine who have had fights whose announcements haven't been made in my blogs and they've sort of slipped by. I do apologise for that, but I have in the last couple of weeks spent a lot of time evaluating what I am doing and lifestyle changes and stuff like that, and MySpace has been put on the back burner slightly as I've chosen really to spend the last couple of blogs talking about a certain issue. So that's my sort of disclaimer for that. I do apologise to anybody, I think particularly John Colossi, whose 2 fights I missed. So there we are. Hopefully I should be able to pick that up again. News on my States trip. I have now managed to book the flights, as you know. We have changed things around a bit. New York and New Jersey are out. California is still out, but Washington DC has changed. Instead of being at the start, it's now at the end. So we're still flying in, but we're going straight from Washington to Virginia, and we're not doing our sightseeing in Washington until after we've been to the hit squad. Everything else is still up and running for that, which is no problem. We have our Amtrak sorted out now between Virginia and Chicago. We also have our Amtrak sorted out between Missouri and Virginia. What we don't have yet is Amtrak sorted out between Illinois and Missouri, and we don't have much worked out on how long we're staying in Chicago and what we're doing about our visit to Thompson and stuff like that. So that's the bit that we're concentrating on for this next sort of week or so. In my blog there is nothing to report from my family. There is nothing to report at work. There is pretty much nothing to report in MMA. I have 2 fighters down to fight next Saturday, Danny Abadi and Antoine Britt. So I'm wishing them all the best for that. Things have been relatively quiet on the forum, so there's nothing really to report there either. In terms of prayers, we are still praying for our forum patron called Chuck, who is having relationship difficulties in his family life. He hasn't been around for a couple of weeks, and people have been asking me. I've seen him online once since he made the prayer request, but I have private messaged him, but I haven't heard anything back. So you know, we're keeping him in our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully we get some feedback on how things are going. We're also keeping in our prayers our forum moderator Boomer, who is out with the United States forces in Afghanistan. Big deal, I think, with the British pulling out of Iraq last week, if I remember rightly. So things, I think people forget that these people who are in the forces are still out there, and for them it's still a very, very current crisis, even if we're not hearing about it in the news anymore, except for, you know, the casualties. Boomer is out there. And he still needs our support through prayer, so we must keep that up. Good news this week is that I lost 8 pounds in weight. I know it doesn't look like that, I've been thinking that to myself, but the scales do not lie. So there we are, and that's all I have to report this week.